Hi everyone and welcome to this review on the 1/6 scale Vampirella figure that was very recently released in Hong Kong. I got this from 1/6 Kit, that's the online store. I'll leave a link to them in the description. This is the Asian edition, which would kind of hint at the fact that there might be another version on the way, but it's not 100% guaranteed, it's all speculation, and I just bought this. I saw the prototype pictures, some of which you can see on the box artwork, scattered all around the box. The box itself is really nice. It's a good quality cardboard. This backdrop doesn't come with Vampirella, that actually comes with a werewolf figure that I have. But I mean, obviously it really suits her, so I just thought I'd pop it in the background just to make it a little bit more visually pretty. So, I'll start off by saying I do not like the Asian head sculpt. I don't know, it's just, it doesn't look like a vampire. That's the main thing. It's nothing to do with where she's meant to be from. It's just, she doesn't look like a vampire. She just looks all sweet and pretty and a silly little glitter on her eye. Like the eye makeup, there's all this glittery effect. It does not make me think of a vampire. Over here, let me just maneuver myself. That's what Vampirella looks like. That is a Sideshow Collectibles premium format statue of Vampirella. Now, I don't know much about Vampirella, but I was reading on the back of this box here. Sorry, I'm just trying to maneuver. Yeah, there's a little read up here. You can pause this and have a read if you want to. Let me just get around there so you can see it. There you go. So yeah, if you want to read that, go ahead. But yeah, for me, one of the things that appeals to me about having a Vampirella figure is I've got quite a few Phicen bodies. Phicen is the company that make these really crazy articulated, very realistic, atomically correct, is that the word, bodies. But I use them for Catwoman figures, and there's always a cat suit on the body, so you never see the Phicen body when I have my figures all set up. They're completely covered in latex or black leather for the Catwoman outfits, which I might as well just show you quickly. There's a bit of a mess. You got like a teacup and stuff going on here, but yeah, these are the Phicen bodies and the Catwoman figures that I put together with them. But as you can see, you don't get to appreciate any of the kind of realistic muscle tones and stuff like that. So when I saw the Vampirella figure, I thought I can finally have a Phicen body and actually see the definition and the detail, and it's not have it completely covered up with like a cat suit or just a jumpsuit or something like that. But as I say, I'm not keen on the Asian head sculpt. Now, I have quite a few different female heads just floating around. I've been trying different ones. Where are they now? Let me just see. I've got one here, which I just can't remember who made this. It's actually supposed to be Anne Hathaway. I bought this just on the cheap on eBay when I was doing stuff with my Dark Knight Rises Hot Toys Selena Kyle, trying to come up with different looks and stuff. This head I have, the hair's too short, she looks kind of weird, her jaw's really wide, and it's just not very, it doesn't look too good. Now, I also have the Scarlet Witch, the first version of Scarlet Witch from Hot Toys. I have this head sculpt, and that actually doesn't look too bad on here. I'll show you that in a little while. I did show it very briefly at the end of the unboxing video for this figure. But I'm just going to get down to it and tell you what I think of it, show you what it can do, and just talk about the things I like and the things I don't like. Obviously, I've mentioned I don't really like the head sculpt. The cape is gorgeous. That's really well done. Black on the outside, red on the inside. Really nice material, feels really nice. This Vampirella outfit, the kind of red material, this is really... It's not ripped on me yet, but I have a feeling if you mess with it too much, or if I was to not be too careful where these sort of the prongs from the stand are attached, you could potentially mess up this outfit, and if you did, you'd never be able to replace it. You can't go on eBay and find a Vampirella outfit. It's just not possible from what I've seen. Also, she doesn't actually come with this sword. I found this sword in my bag of accessories, weapons and stuff, and I thought to myself, well, I finally got a figure that could possibly rock a sword. So I'm just rocking her like that for now. The bat accessory that kind of goes on her finger there, that's nice, it works well. And that's actually pretty cool with the moon in the background like that. The bangles that go around her wrist are good because the wrist is the only part where you can see a joint. but you can cover up the joint between the wrist and the arm with the bangles, so she ends up being completely seamless. However, the transition between the head and the neck where they join together, a little bit unsightly for me. It's nothing major, it's the usual kind of thing, but I always have to try and position the hair in a way that tries to conceal it. Now another thing, you're going to laugh at this, but I don't give a fuck. I just do what I got to do to make the figures look better. I actually had to put conditioner. I pulled the head off because the hair, when you get it, there's a lot of product in it to make it kind of seem like a wet looking, and it's very matted, very knotted up. When you first get this figure and the hair is just, you try to run a comb through it and you can't. It's that knotted up the whole way from the tip of the head down to the end of the hair at the back. Total knot fest. So I put some conditioner in the hair, washed it, warm water, and then dried it and combed it all through. Completely combed her hair, got all the knots out, and now it flows really nicely and naturally. And I definitely recommend you do that. You can always put product back in it afterwards, but when you get her out of the box, the hair is incredibly knotted and very thick, like gel. Is just really solid. It's solidated the hair, if that's the word, and just made it really difficult to work with, and you will not like the hair fresh out of the box. You do need to give it a wash. So yeah, did that, worked out good. Been thinking about what to do about this damn head sculpt. It just, like I said, it kills the look, because from the, let me just cover up her head, from the neck down, that is Vampirella 100%. And you know it's frustrating because you just know with the right head sculpt, this would be just out of the, knocked out of the park. It would be absolutely 100% Vampirella in 1/6 scale perfection. So who knows if they are going to do another version of the head sculpt at some point. I'll probably just try and grab that separately if I can later on. See if the head sculpt pops up on eBay if they do make it. The base is really nice. Oh, and here's her spare hands. I did add some gloss varnish to all the fingernails. Let me just see if I can get this in focus. Let me bring out all the hands here and go ahead and there we go. So yeah, I did varnish all of her nails, so you can see, especially on that one, I've glossed up the nails and they're a lot more shiny now. They just weren't very shiny when you get them out of the box. She also comes with that skull there. That could do with a bit of a black wash paint, just to give it a bit more sort of definition. This base that she's standing on does not come with her. That's like a cheap Medicom base, or a cheap Medicom stand just to hold her up. Obviously you do get this big diorama base for her, but there's nothing to actually keep her standing up. I think they assume you're just going to have her sitting on here, and that's how I had her yesterday, and she looked great. Just for the purposes of the review, I've had to stand her up so you can see. But yeah, she does sit on that pretty well. And what else is there to say? Let me see. Yeah, the collar's nice. Everything's pretty well made. I just, like I say, be very careful with this material. If you were to rip that, then I don't think you'd ever be able to replace it. So be very mindful when you're reposing her. The boots are really well done. She stands up pretty decent in those, and they're nice black boots. They work well. Nice material, fake leather, whatever. Looks good. And as I said before, the sword does not come with her. I just added the sword as a nice little accessory for her. And yeah, the box is nice. So let's get on with it. It's been about 9 minutes now of me talking. I just want to get all that stuff out of the way. Now let's repose her, getting in some different poses, try out some different head sculpts, see what works, what doesn't, and just have a total pose fest. Let's have some fun. Let's get down to it. Enjoy. Alright, so I switched around the head. This is the one I showed you before that was meant to be Anne Hathaway. I think it was by Headplay from a couple of years back. I wet the hair just to kind of keep it a bit from poofing out the way it usually does. Skin tone wise, that matches perfectly, and it does look better than, I think, the where is it now? Yeah, we can get a really good look at this now because I've got it off the figure. It's just, I mean, in the artwork that we saw, I mean, this is what we, pre-ordered, or when you made your decision to buy it, it was all based on these images. And she doesn't seem to have all that glittery effect in the prototype images. You look at that and then you look at this. That's so much more girly, and I'm sorry to say it, it's just, like proper Barbie dolly kind of bullshit. And, that's not what that looks like. And I don't know. So that was a bit of a, that's frustrating. You know, the more I think about it, that's pretty damn frustrating. She does not look like a vampire. Come on. What, is she gonna... Nah. Okay, so, yeah, so this is better. It's not 100%. I wouldn't leave it like this because there's just something about the expression on her face, or like I said before, the jawline's kind of funky. And we'll just have a look at it with the hair kind of pushed back over the shoulders. Gives the impression that the hair could be longer. Obviously, the hair on this is nowhere near as long as it would be for Vampirella, but at least if you push it back behind the collar there, you can't really tell. But that's how that looks. What do you think? Me personally, I like it. I know it's better than the stock one, but there's just something about it. By the way, I did try to repaint a lot of the makeup and eyes and stuff. I repainted the lips and tried to gloss them, but didn't do a very good job. And the eyeliner is hard to do, and eye makeup, eyeshadow, whatever you want to call it. I tried it yesterday. Did alright. It looks fine from about here, but you don't want to get too close. Alright, so that's how she looks. With that head sculpt, let's try the Scarlet Witch one. Alright, now here's the Scarlet Witch head on the body. And now the skin tones don't match, but for some reason, I don't know if it's going to be coming across the same to you looking at this on the screen, but through the viewfinder of the camera, there's not that much of a difference here. And what I do is I try to bring the hair around her face and let it kind of drop where it's dropping to kind of distract you a bit and take the emphasis away from the transition of the head and the neck. And as you can see, I mean, that looks fine in more ways than one. If the hair was jet black, forget about it. It'd be done. This would be the head sculpt that would stay on the body, and it might stay on there from time to time. I mean, that looks fine to me. I can't see anything wrong with it. You know, I mean, the skin tone, her face, even though she's a vampire, I'm sure her face would be a little bit more colourful than the rest of her body. You know, rosy cheeks and that, whatever. But yeah, it looks good. Looks fine to me. I will, when I repose her and do different poses, I'll always try to take the stock head off and put this one on so you can see what it looks like with this head as well during this video. And yeah, so it's probably about time I did change the pose. I just thought I'd show you the different heads with the original pose that I started off with, just so you could see. But let me know what you think of that. I think that looks pretty damn perfect. Yep. Alright, let's carry on with the review. Alright, so finally we've changed the pose and we've got her sitting on the little seat of skulls, and you can see the articulation with these bodies is absolutely fantastic. It's always been the way with the Phicen stuff. They have recently changed their name apparently to TB League. That's them there. These are the other companies that help make this. But I, you know, just for old habits, until it gets into my head, I probably will keep saying Phicen for a little while. Hope that doesn't get anyone in trouble, but I'll try and remember to say TB League. Again, head sculpt, don't like it. A lot of you are probably looking at the screen now thinking, can't you just do the rest of the review with the Scarlet Witch head on? I kind of want to as well, but I will put that head on this body just so you can see the pose. But anyway, just to show you what you can do, sitting there cross-legged, able to pull that off, no problem. And nothing is bent too severely on the top half of the body, so you could leave her like this. With the elbows, when you bend the elbow fully, you'll feel the kind of metal skeleton inside getting closer to the edge of the elbow sort of skin. You can actually feel, not now because her arm's pretty much straight, but when you bend the elbow you could feel the point of the endoskeleton inside. So I would be worried over time leaving her with her arm fully bent, like, you know, let me just show you. You know, if I was continuing to bend that all the way up as far as it will go, which is all the way, I would be worried over time that the skeleton would poke through the sort of silicone body and that would damage the figure. But because I'm leaving it like that, it's fine. But because the around the sort of butt area there's so much silicone, you could leave the leg like that and I don't think you're ever going to have any problem with the skeleton inside like ripping through. I think you could leave it like this. There's no, that's all very thick as well. I can feel the skeleton inside, but there's a hell of a lot of silicone between you know, both points, so I think you'd be fine to leave her like that. Like if you wanted to just display her, obviously she only comes with this base and not a stand to actually stand her on, so I think a lot of the intention was for you to display her like this in some kind of sitting position, so I think you could do that without much fear of anything going wrong. Let's switch around that head and see how she looks with the Scarlet Witch head on. It's just so much better with the Scarlet Witch head. I probably will rock her like this permanently. Not in this particular pose, but at least with this head sculpt. Now, you do have to do a bit of work to get the head to fit on the body, or at least on the joint that's there. I mean, it's going to look ugly as hell, but I had to like bore the hell out of that thing. It took ages because it just doesn't really sit on there properly. It will click into place on the joint, but it's too high. There's like this big gap, so I had to do some pretty intense boring with a little knife to get it to sit on there properly. But yeah, just looks a hell of a lot better with that head sculpt on there. Alright, let's change up the pose, do something else. Another pose with this head sculpt this time, and looks pretty decent. Just using the skull for this one, and I wanted to switch out the hands so you can actually see these nice evil looking sort of kind of fingers. So yeah, looks alright. That head sculpt, at least the skin tone is near enough perfect, just not mad keen on the expression, the sort of shape of the face. But I guess she does look quite vampire-like. She looks kind of grumpy. Nice the way that cape can just sort of drape like that, like this side. Really nice material. Do really like the cape. You can take it off, but I wouldn't really want to mess around with that too much. You know, if you're familiar, you've been in the 1/6 scale game a while, you know that these little buttons here, they're the ones with that really, the bit that actually pops in is so flimsy and so small. You know the ones, if you know. And you can see that was already like that when I first got it. See that tiny little rip? It's not even a rip really. Nah, it's not too bad at all, but that material just doesn't look very tough to me. So I just have to be really careful. But I am being careful. I should be okay, but I'll certainly keep you updated if there's any problems with the outfit. But so far, so good. Let's switch out the head to a different one. That pose looks pretty cool. Alright, now with the stock head, and I've tried to just kind of make the hair look kind of funky, just bringing it all down around the face. I figure if I can just get the hair to lay a bit more flat. She looks okay when the hair's wet and it falls and you can manipulate it and it's more close to the face like this, it looks much better. When it starts to poof out and dry, it just makes it look kind of silly. Well, she looks alright there, not too bad, not too bad. Definitely, yeah, definitely more about the Scarlet Witch look though. Looking forward to putting that head on there. I think she's going to kill it. I think it's going to be game over. Let's put the hair behind the thingy just to change it up so you can see that variation. There you go. Yeah, it looks alright too. Don't look too bad, don't look too bad. Let's get that Scarlet Witch head sculpt on there. And yes, as expected, that looks way better. Again, the Scarlet Witch head sculpt just kills it. That just looks way more intentful, like she's casting a spell. Something's going on in her mind, something's happening. And it just looks much better, so... yes, I probably will end up rocking her with the Scarlet Witch head. Here we go. Oh man, that looks fucked up. You have to change, you have to see... oh, that looks cool right there. That's how that looks. Look at that. Yep, that's good. So, that's how that looks. Pretty sick. Yep, you could definitely leave it displayed like that, and that would be quite an impressive piece. As 1/6 scale stuff goes, that looks pretty awesome. Even with the little bat down here on the, because it's like a ring, basically it just slips on her finger, and I was looking for somewhere else on the base that I could just kind of attach it to, and that was the only little bit I could really find. But anyway, that's how that looks. Get the moon behind her. Very nice. Alright, new pose, and I had to start this one off with the Scarlet Witch head because I just knew it would look awesome. She's basically shielding her eyes from the sun or something. I don't know. I'm trying to utilize and show everything and make the claws work, because you don't get, obviously, with the head that you get with Vampirella, she's certainly not very aggressive looking. You'd want a head sculpt, maybe 2 head sculpts with this, ideally, even if it cost a bit more money, with a kind of neutral, just plain expression like that. By the way, if the head sculpt had have actually looked like that, I'd be fine with that. That looks fine to me because, I don't know, it's maybe the lack of the stupid glitter effect. I might be able to get rid of that myself. I'm going to see what I can do with this. Because, I mean, if I'm going to be rocking the Scarlet Witch head anyway, I can take my chances with this and see what I can do. But there might be something I can do with this. I'll keep you updated. See if I can get rid of that glitter effect. But yeah, with this pose, I was basically just trying to think of something that was sexy looking and also had a point to it. Like, I don't know. Basically, even though the night is clearly behind her and the moon's there, she's shielding her eyes from the sun that's, you know, the sunrise. She's a vampire, so that's what she's doing. Come at it from different angles. There you go. The skin tone difference is maybe jumping out at me a little bit more with this pose. For some reason, when she's sitting down, the skin tone difference wasn't hitting me at all. I thought it looked fine, but now I'm sort of seeing it. Like when I come back further away, it's not so much of a big deal, but from about here, it's not too bad. Anyway, let's put the stock head on there. And there she is with the stock head. So it doesn't really work. The expression on the face is just too blank. Those hand sculpts, the ones that have the fingers in this more kind of aggressive coming at you kind of position, they're deemed pretty much useless because the expression on the face is so non-aggressive and non-vampire like. It's just hard to make those hands work in a pose with this head. But that's how it looks. It's not awful. That doesn't look bad to me. It's just, it's a shame. At least if you're going to, you know, another head sculpt with fangs showing, you know, the mouth open, furrowed brow, and more intense staring at you eyes, fangs, open mouth, that kind of thing. That would have been sick. And just so you can see with that other head, very briefly, because I don't really think it works too well here, but just so you can see, that's how that looks. Come around it a little bit, show you some angles, and moving on. Alright, so I might leave this as the final pose for the review, guys, because I'm not too sure. I think I've been going on for quite a while now. I mean, the intro was 10 minutes alone, so all this other stuff's going to bring it to like half-hour long, so I'll wrap it up after this. I could always bring you, if you let me know in the comments, let me know if it's worth my time doing another video, just specifically different poses. And I'll go ahead and do that. Give me a few days and I'll bust out all kinds of poses. Because you could do anything with these Phicen bodies. Or, what was it again? TL League or TB League. But yeah, this looks pretty cool. You could leave her in this pose and nothing would take any damage. I don't think. The shoulders are really nice and thick with the silicone around the endoskeleton inside. And that doesn't look too hideous the way they're turned up like that. It's really impressive. Like even the shading. Let's take a minute to actually check out the body. I haven't actually done that yet. So with this body, this one has more definition in the muscles in the thighs and the kind of midsection there and the arms. There's more muscle definition on this than the other Phicen bodies I've had before. They're incredible too, but this one seems to be specifically for the figures that you're actually going to be seeing the skin. You know, for like your Red Sonjas and your Vampirellas and your Lady Deaths and stuff like that. Let's change up the head sculpt. See how she looks. And once again, the Scarlet Witch head just takes it and kills it. That's ridiculous. That's a final pose. That's probably how I'm going to display her for the foreseeable future. The bat added to the top, like the angel on top of a Christmas tree. That's right. It looks damn good. Ain't gonna lie to you. It looks good. Look at that. Look at it. Behold the majesty. That really does look good though. Okay, so final thoughts. I will save that. I don't want to put the stock head back on here because that looks so damn good. I want to finish the review with this look, but I just feel that'd be confusing for people, so I suppose I should just put the stock head back on her again. But yeah, I'll give my final thoughts in a minute. Let's just take a moment. Let's come down right from the top all the way to the bottom. Trying to cover up those wrist joints with the bangles, whatever you want to call them. That's the Age of Ultron Scarlet Witch Hot Toys head sculpt. Just to clarify one more time. And yep, that guy across the street is still hammering like crazy, so I'm sorry if you're picking that up on the mic. But yeah, That looks fantastic. Alright, let's put her back with the stock head, wrap it up with the final thoughts. But that pose is awesome. Alright folks, that's the end of the review. Just to wrap it up, it's a fantastic figure with a really not to my taste head sculpt. There are people probably out there who will like it, and that's fair enough. It's very, you know, it's pretty, but it's not Vampirella. It's certainly not, you know, vampire-like. So, yeah, I would say if you're going to get it, just bear in mind you're probably going to need to get yourself a replacement head sculpt. And there's certainly enough of those on eBay. It's just a matter of trying to pick one with a matching skin tone. But yeah, really nice. Apparently this is the first officially released Vampirella 1/6 scale figure. There's certainly been statues in the past, but this is the first 1/6 scale figure apparently. So, yep, just to clarify, this background won't come with the figure. That comes with the werewolf that's up there in the middle of the shelf there beside Tyler Durden. But yeah, I just thought it'd suit the review, so I'll put it there. Yeah, nice box, great base, awesome body, really well done outfit. Be careful, it seems quite fragile, although I've had no problems so far. Cape is fantastic, and covers up all the visible joints with the bangles, the nice little bat accessory. Very nice. I'd give it a 6 out of 10, you know, 6.5, virgin on a 7, just because the head sculpt is, well, 6 out of 10 because they kind of lied to us. You know, they really didn't deliver the same thing that's on the prototype artwork. So I don't like it when they do stuff like that. But yeah, 6 out of 10, which is alright. I don't think you'd be that disappointed. Just know what you're going in for, really. Just watch this review and hopefully it will tell you everything you need to know and show you everything you need to see to make an informed decision. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. I'll be back with you soon. As soon as Wonder Woman comes out from Hot Toys or Harley Quinn, I'll be on the case. So stick with me. Thanks for watching.